the summer rebuild hasn't really gone according to plan, if I'm honest. The players that we released weren't really using up much of the wage budget, and anyone that we wanted to bring in that would really bring that sort of star power into the team, they wanted an awful lot of money. But we've managed to bring in some new faces, we've released some of the older players, and I'm going to show you the new additions today, as well as seeing a game against newly relegated Crawley Town. So as we can see, obviously what I've done is I've gone back to showing you the 26-27 transfers, because we did sign and pick up this guy before the season ticked over, so it shows on last season's transfers. Hayden Murray Home. He is going to be sitting in that centre midfielder role. Remember, Manny Aliki did retire last season, so we have got a little bit of a gap there with Manny Aliki dropping off. He's a natural centre defensive midfielder and just a natural centre midfielder. Very good stats. He's 18 years old. He's got 18 determination. So I feel like this guy could get to the tippy top. Right, he's potentially a Premier League standard player. So I think a lot is going to be rested on his shoulders. And as you can see, he's already made one appearance for us in the National League and scored one goal. Then in terms of more of a rotation / squad depth, we've brought in Kieran Petrie. He comes in as a natural right winger. Of course, with Jack Birney going, we did need to bring in some additional players to sort of fill in some of them spots in the squad. I'll show you with regards to the outs in a moment. But again, 16 determination, 22 years old. So I want a nice determined and driven squad, obviously, moving forward. We've brought in Kai Crampton to come in as our backup goalkeeper. He's going to obviously replace Camus. He was also happy to just take the contract as backup, so we haven't got to worry about him getting unhappy. 20 years old at the moment, 2.5 star, potentially 4 to 5 star potential ability. We've brought in Josh Briggs. He's more just to sort of have a little bit more defensive coverage. Again, he's a fringe player. He's 2.5 stars. He's only costing us £90 a week, but he can play centre back or right back. So it does give us a little bit more protection, and almost going to be playing the George Burrows role. He's also left the club, so we needed to bring someone else in who can play that position. And then we've got this guy in on loan who brilliantly can either play as a centre back or can play as a striker. Who knows? Maybe he might make the odd 1 or 2 appearances as centre back. If we're playing a team lower in the league, maybe we'll just play him as centre back to have that extra attacking threat on, as he can actually play striker. And he's got some pretty decent stats, to be fair, for a striker, but he comes in on loan from Spurs. In terms of the outs, we've got obviously Birney's left, Humphrey Ervers, Wiggett. There's a few players that you'll notice still in the squad, like Westendorf, Tom Scott, Braden Daniel, from obviously the first season, Chris Francis. Other than that, it's pretty much a changed and updated bench. I personally wouldn't say our bench is any stronger than what it was last season, which is a bit of a worry. I wouldn't say the players that we've brought in are better than the quality that we had on the bench last season. If anything, they potentially are pretty much exactly the same. I think obviously Hayden will have a big role to play in this squad. I'm really looking at Joe Hugill to sort of hit the ground running now. He really needs to be proving why we went out and paying him £1,000 a week to be that chosen striker. So far, hasn't scored. But as I alluded to, we have already played one game this season. I played the opener. Reason why is because, like I said, we've seen Sutton United a few times. So the plan will be to see the Crawley game today and then the Harrogate Town. Of course, both of them clubs recently getting relegated from Sky Bet League 2. So hopefully we can go out, prove our worth, have a really good start to the season like we did last year, but then let us keep that form going and keep that momentum going. So there was one other bit of business that I forgot to show you from a staffing viewpoint. We've brought in Larry McAvoy in as our assistant manager. He comes in to just give us that little bit more experience. You know, he's got very good stats across the board. He's good in attacking, good in technical, good in tactical as well. Also with regards to his ability, current player ability, he's very good at judging players and good obviously potential as well. So without any further ado, let's get the first league game that we're going to see anyway of season 3 underway. We've got Crawley Town, newly relegated, but we are at home. As we know, the MG Group Stadium has been an absolute fortress for us. So if we can play the way we can play, I have no doubt that we can beat them. We beat Harrogate Town last year. They were a poor side in League 2. Crawley obviously were the same, as they did get relegated. But your starting 11 for the game against Crawley Town today. We've got right in goal, A defence made up of Pinnington, Skara, Johnson and Killer-Ferreri. A holding midfield role of Tate Campbell, with a more adventurous midfield role, I would say, now than just two holding. He is in a DM position, but we're playing him box-to-box and then as a pressing defensive midfielder as well. So really, Hayden's going to get sort of more up the pitch than what Manialiki or Ashby was doing last season. We've got Mellor out on the right, McEachran in that attacking midfield role, playing in his advanced playmaker role that he loves. And we've then got Clark out on the left. And then, of course, we've got Hugill leading the line. And like I said, this is a game we need him to step up. If he's got aspirations of playing in them higher leagues, he needs to start performing. So far, 1 appearance, no goals. But in friendlies, 6 appearance, 7 goals. So he can obviously do it. He can obviously do the job. We just need him to do the job in the league. So I'm just going to say to the boys, our home form is important. We're going to start off like we do every single season. We want to make sure that the MG Group Stadium stays an absolute fortress for us. I will say, having a quick look here, I think Crawley are playing a really defensive formation again against us. Teams just, yeah, look at this. A flat back 7, basically, with wing backs. I just don't know why clubs, I guess, fear us. We've obviously just got a reputation out there in the footballing world, right? That we are quite a dominant side and they have to sort of set up defensively because that's in possession. Out of possession, they're playing like a Christmas tree formation, right? They've got no wide attack, so that could actually go in our favour because, of course, we have changed it to going back to our wider style now. I think what I've done, we played a little bit more narrow last season. Yes, we're still playing these as inverted wingers, but I want them to stay out wide so they can take their fullback on. They can get crosses in the box for then Hugill to feed off of. That's the plan. Whether the plan can be executed, we will have to wait and see. What we may do is then start taking them off of inside wingers and move them more just to a typical winger role. The reason why I prefer the inside winger to, say, the inside forward is because with an inside winger, they're still there to create a creative threat. An inside forward is more to be there for an actual scoring threat, so to speak. But Clark's in here. Oh, that was an awful attempt. That was absolutely awful. He must have been dropping onto his weak foot. And this is why I don't like playing him off the left. I prefer him playing in on the right and cutting in on his strong foot. So we might have to just go against what he wants in his contract. But Hugill's in here. Oh. Clark and Hugill have been linking up well. We've just seen it, both in a reverse way for each other. And both of them equally have got just as bad shooting or haven't got their shooting boots on for us this afternoon. We should, realistically, with them chances, we should be 2-0 up. And that's where it's going to get frustrating if Hugill can't perform on the biggest stage of them all, which is the National League for us. Then I don't really know when he's going to perform, you know what I mean? And annoyingly, haven't obviously got another striker on the books apart from Westendorf. And can't really rely on him with how inconsistent he is as well. So it's going to be a big couple of games for Hugill. He's going to have to be the one, and that's the difference, isn't it? They get relegated from League 2 and they've got players who can actually shoot. It's been all us. He manages to get past 3 players and then just manages to fire it past right. So we go in 1-0 down. We're probably going 1-0 down at half time at this point. And we have got a corner though. 45 minutes played. Corner comes in. We do nothing with it. I'm surprised we even saw it, to be honest. Probably seeing it because they're going to have a counter-attack. Luckily, the ref blows full time because they definitely had the advantage there. I feel like that's not... It's time for everyone to dig in. We need to get a little bit better. I'm going to say to Hugill, you weren't good enough. You need to be doing better. You need to be putting... At least work the keeper. You're not even working the keeper. You're just letting it drag wide. We've now got a mountain to climb. We're 1-0 down. We're at home as well, which is not good. We don't want to be losing at home. A minimum will take as a draw at home. Keeping that fortress is what's made us so solid in the league all these years. One thing I did forget to mention when I was doing the intro, there was a job offer in the summer, but it was from Ebbsfleet Town, who are in the National League South. I mean, I'm not going to take a backward step. I'd rather stay in the National League for the time being with Oxford, you know what I mean? So I swiftly declined that when I saw that come up, because yes, I'm not looking to step back down into the National League and go down again. But Clark here, ball in for Hugill. Oh, okay, Melo got in. I thought that looked like Hugill touched it in. Hang on a minute, let's watch this a little bit slower. Clark with the ball. Hugill is there. Oh, okay, it goes over Hugill's head. And Melo obviously touches it in. Lovely. I mean, I don't care who scores. Well, I say that. I want Hugill to be scoring. But, I mean, I also want us to win and draw games, right? I don't want us to be losing and then not having anyone else who can score goals. And the good thing is with Melo, he can play, obviously, as a striker. So he has got finishing capabilities to himself. So Clark here picking up the ball from Melo into the Calafiori. Clark cuts it back for Hugill. Doesn't even get his shot on target. Gets blocked by the defender. At least cut it back. Melo was there in the box. I feel like Hugill's going to be... I mean, I might be judging him quite early, considering we're only one game in. But remember, he did have them games at the end of the season with us. It's not as if he's brand new signing into the squad. And I feel like he's going to be the player that if we can get him on song, he'll make our season. If we can't get him on song, he's going to break our season, which is going to be a sad turn of events considering the money that he's on. He's on £1,000 a week. Arguably, that could get me 2 different players in this league. McEachran, Hugill, he was offside anyway, I think, McEachran, but Hugill didn't even get his header on target. Worrying times. A 6.6 as well for him. I mean, well, 6.5 now. I was going to say it's not terrible. Let's take him off. Let's bring on the older big centre-back / striker, Elliot Paris, and see if he can turn things up. See, I suppose the good thing with having him who can play centre-back, when we are defending the corners, he'll probably be even slightly better at helping defend the corner than what you would think maybe Hugill will, potentially. Oh, get rid of it. What's happened here? Oh, the assistant flag went up. I was going to say, I thought we just left the ball there. Luckily, the Crawley players didn't react either, but it was offside anyway. So 1-1. I mean, it's disappointing. Our XG was so much better than theirs. And look at the match momentum. We should have been 2-0 up in them first few highlights that we saw. That's the thing. I'm disappointed that we didn't win. Again, I feel like that's 2 points dropped rather than 3 points gained. Well, we didn't gain. It's 2 points dropped. It's not... Yeah, a draw isn't a good result. Let's just say that. Clark did play well considering he was coming obviously off that unfavoured left side, and of course he makes his debut. So the plan, what we'll do is, like I said, I'll probably now skip forward up to the Harrogate Town game so we can see obviously the 2 Sky Bet League 2, or what were the Sky Bet League 2 oppositions in today's episode. And then the plan will be after that, obviously, do like we did last season, skip a couple, see a couple, skip a couple, see a couple. We are in a different type of cup as well now. We're in the National League Cup. And I don't know if I'm happy with that, if I'm honest, because it's just going to give us even more fixture congestion when we've already got a slightly smaller squad. Loans are definitely on the agenda. Of course, we've only got 1 loanee at the moment in, so we do have space for another 4. I think if we can bring another 4 loans, some of them of good quality, some maybe squad type of quality, we should be laughing. So here we go. We are at the Harrogate Town game as agreed. As you can see, after we saw that 1-1 draw to Crawley, we went on and drew 1-1 against Boston. We managed to just about beat Newcastle under-21s in the National League Cup. We managed to score a 94th minute winner. And then we lost 2-0 to Boreham Wood, which is a disappointing result, especially at home. The form's just not... We're not really getting going, and we're not sort of free-flowing and scoring like we was last season. So a lot of work to be done and a lot of work on the training pitch to be completed as well. In terms of the tactics and in terms of the team, we're not really changing anything. We have got this one other new guy that we've brought in on loan again from Spurs, Herbie James. He can play on either wing and is a natural left attacking midfielder or right attacking midfielder. Gives us maybe a little bit more depth in them areas so we can obviously rotate a little bit more. But I need this core group of players to really start to gel because we're just not having the same performances before. And look at this, 6.47 rating for Joe Hugill. He's just not performing the way that we want. So I think I'm actually just going to put Melo up front and just get him to run in behind and be a nuisance. I probably will keep him actually tracking as well. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do with Mr. Hugill. It's not working at the moment. He has good XG, you know, he's meant to be getting 3.1 XG per game, and he's only actually scored 0 goals for us. Our season is hinging on him to be able to perform and bring the goods. Your team lineup for the game against Harrogate, we've got Wright in goal, Pinnington, Skara, Johnson and Killer Murray Holmes in midfield alongside Tate Campbell, James, McEachran and Clark in the attacking midfield roles, and then Damari, Mellor. Hopefully we can pick up 3 points. God knows we need it. We're currently sitting 14th in the league, a position that I don't actually think we was ever lower than 14th in the league for the whole of last season. So not something that we're used to, not something that I'm used to, let alone the players. And I want to see a marked improvement from you all tonight. We've beaten Harrogate last season. We can definitely beat them again. But we just need to make sure that we're performing as well as we know we can be. Because we've not been performing to the levels that we performed last season. As I said, if we have a look at the live league table, yeah, we're sitting in 14th at the moment on 6 points. Of course, it's very early. You know, we win this and everyone else loses. We go up to 4th. But I want to be in the chasing pack from the very beginning. I don't want us to have almost like a flip side of what we had last season, where we had a really good start and then we had a really poor end. And that poor form at the end has sort of trickled over to this season, unfortunately. I guess it is our second season in the National League. You always have that first season bounce. So we are probably going to expect it to be a little bit tougher. Teams are sort of working us out how to play against us. Mellor's in against the crossbar. And that's the problem. We just don't have a prolific goal scorer. We had G in on loan last season who was doing a good job. We had McEachran who was stepping up. Or McEachran, sorry, shall I say, who was stepping up and doing a good job. I've realised I've actually been saying his name wrong. If we go all the way back to the first episode, I was calling him McEachran. Then I thought that that was incorrect. I've been calling him McEachran. Oh, Clark's just scored a typical Clark goal from outside of the box. Highlight Will Revie, as he usually does. To be fair, Clark's been the only sort of bright light so far this season. He's been the only player who's been consistent, been scoring goals and getting assists. And that was an absolute peach of a goal. But as I was saying, yeah, McEachran. And I thought I was getting confused with Josh McEachran, the Chelsea, well, was a Chelsea youngster at some point, some time ago now. But we will be calling him McEachran from now on. McEachran's in here. Maybe he was just extra motivated by me saying his name wrong, which obviously meant that he was then going on and scoring all them goals and assisting, and we just... The defence is just not solid. And I've not changed the defence at all. The defence hasn't changed. The back four and right in goal are exactly the same. They're just not... For some reason, they've just not clicked so far. They're just not doing the jobs that they need to be doing. And it's disappointing because we're struggling to score goals. And usually we could rely on that last season that we would be defensively sound. So even if we were struggling to score, we weren't necessarily losing games. Now, we're not always defensively sound and we're conceding more than I am happy with us doing. But Mellor here, James, the new boy on loan from Spurs, cuts it back to Mellor. Mellor just goes and fires it over the crossbar from, what, 10 yards out? Maybe we change things and we might actually end up playing maybe 2 up top. But that means we drop McEachran, and I don't know if that's something I want to do. Also, to note, obviously last season he was meant to have got the leading goals appearance maker, but because we didn't go further in the playoffs, he actually didn't do that. He was 2 appearances off, which he has now done. So he now does go down in the Oxford City history books as the leading player to make appearances for them. But 43 minutes played, probably going in at half-time at 1-1. The attacking midfielders are all playing well. It's just, there's that striker role. We just can't get it to work at the moment. And I don't really know what the solution is at the moment, but that's what I get paid to do, right? I'm here to sort of sort the problems out. Oh, James hits the post. Pinnington into the new guy in midfield, Murray Holmes, but he can't do anything with it, unfortunately. Right. I'm not going to criticise them too much. I'm just going to say don't lose faith. I am going to say to the midfield, though, I'm disappointed in you. I mean, unfortunately, that brings in the attackers as well. I was more looking at these players here, to be honest. But let's make some changes. James has got picked up a knock anyway, and he's absolutely knackered. So we'll bring on Petrie. I'm going to bring Hugo on. Actually, not for... I'm going to bring Hugo on for McEachran. And I'm going to swap them around. Do I play him as a shadow striker and have him try and play off of Hugo? I might change him into a target forward. Let's try and do this, actually. Hang on. Put Clark out into a winger role. And what I want you to do, Clark, I want you to basically aim for Hugill. I don't want you doing anything else. Other than that, I don't really know what else I can do. Do I want a shadow striker? I mean, I want him trying to feed him as well, let's be honest. No, we'll play him as an advanced playmaker. We'll keep that. Anyone else absolutely knackered? The youngster is... Bring on Francis. Scarra's knackered as well. Okay, put them there. Put Boswell at left back. Right. 45 minutes. Can we get the winner? I hope we can. It's getting nervy. I mean, we're only a couple of games in and I'm already nervous for the whole season as things stand at the moment. Hugill into Campbell. Into the new guy in midfield. Mellor cuts it back. Ooh. Hugill it just doesn't react to that. It bounced in front of him. Why are you shooting from there? Oh my God. Please. He's got shooting more often. Change that. Go to standard. We shouldn't be shooting from range anyway. We don't shoot from range. He's frustrating me. He's really starting to frustrate. I'm not sure who frustrated me more, him or Westendorf. At least with Westendorf, we saw him still pick up a good amount of goals from time to time, whereas I'm not really seeing much from him apart from in bloody friendlies. I don't really care if you score 6 in friend. Oh, a red card for them. Okay, well that's good. We'll go positive. Hopefully that doesn't mean he's out injured though. No, he's still got full fitness. That's fine. So let's take the attack to them. Right, Hugill, if you're not going to score now, we've got a man advantage. It's time for us to make that count now. Come on. Francis into Pennington. Pennington into Petrie. Mellor. Just can't get onto the end of it. Good idea though. Can't fault the boy for trying the pass there. Long goal kick from them. Boswell gets the header, but it comes straight back at us. Just some controlled possession for them. Long cross. And Johnson's just not jumping. How has he been out jumped there? It wasn't Johnson anyway. It was Francis. And they're normally so solid. We are not performing to expectations at the minute. We've dropped down to 17th now by conceding that. We see the corner. Clark plays... I don't even know who you're playing that to. Don't know if it was a shot or a cross. Hugo goes to chase after it. The ball was still already out of play and he's still running after it. Work is to be done, boys and girls. Work is to be done. Because as things stand, this is not the type of form that we can be dealing with. We're really not performing to how we know we can be. And I think that's the most disappointing thing. We've only made 1 or 2 changes. As in, we've only brought 1 or 2 players into the fold. And the whole thing's just capitulated. We've not changed the defence at all. They're not performing. Hugill doesn't even try and get the ball. Please, Hugill. Switch on. Clark. Petrie. Back to Mellor. Can't get his shot away. Gets blocked. We can definitely still salvage something from this. Apparently Mellor's having an absolute terrible game. I mean, I've seen more from him than I have from Hugill. So how Hugill's got a higher rating than he has, I don't know. I have no one that can come on to replace him, though. Let's do this. See what Hugill can do from a cam roll. Maybe we'll find a natural spot for him to play. Play him as a second striker. There's 6 minutes of added time. We're going very attacking for the last 4. We need to scrape a point back, surely. Come on. And that's it. We lose 2-1 after they went down to 10 men as well. Puts us down to 18th. Macclesfield, to be fair, are 24th, rock bottom of the league with 1 point. So remember who just went up with us or pipped us to the title. But I'm really not happy with that. You was shocking. You would deserve to come off. Where's Hugill? I'm furious with your performance. You're on £1,000 a week. You need to be showing something a little bit different. Oh, and he's out 4 to 7 weeks. He didn't even need to be subbed. Why is he out 4 to 7 weeks? Right. In terms of what that means, what I'm probably going to do is play the York, Woking and Barnet game off camera. What then I might do is bring us to the Scarborough Athletic game. And we'll potentially see... I mean, these are kind of throwaway games, aren't they? So we'll probably see Scarborough Athletic and then Tamworth as sort of a back-to-back in the next episode. But a lot of work needs to be done. We've only won 1 game in the league, and that was against Sutton United on the first game of the season, where we played really well. And then since then, it's just absolutely capitulated. No idea why, but that's something that we need to find out. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. It's questionable at the moment, right? Maybe that Ebbsfleet job offer, stepping back down to the National League South, might have been something to consider. Who knows? But I'm still glad we're here. We're still going to be fighting our way through. And I still have faith that we can turn the season around. It's just going to take a lot of hard work and determination. And once a couple of wins start to flow, we'll be getting back into our form and we'll find our feet back again in the National League. But thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you're new around here to continue watching the journey. And don't forget to leave me a comment down below. What's your predictions for this year? Where do you think we're going to finish? We're going to finish top half? Playoffs? Champions? Or are we in for a relegation battle? Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you in the next one.